Welcome to Travel Tutor. In this episode, we're going to look at one ticket versus two tickets. There are instances when breaking up your journey and booking two airline tickets instead of one airline ticket works out to be less expensive. Let's look at an example. Let's say we're traveling from Toronto to Prague, departing June 8th, returning June 16th. If we look at a ticket that originates in Toronto and finishes in Prague, the lowest fares with Air Canada for $12.15. However, if we break that apart and look at one ticket with Air Transat from Toronto to Paris, and then a separate ticket on Czech Airlines from Paris to Prague, those combined total up to $921. So that's about a $300 difference. So as you can see, often combining two different airlines on two tickets, commonly one of them being a budget carrier, AirAsia, Ryanair, EasyJet, etc., can result in a lower fare. Now, the example we just looked at was combining a charter airline, which was Air Transat, with a regularly scheduled airline, which was Czech Airlines. This is a really great way to break up your trip and an easy way to include stopovers, and sometimes might result in stopovers you may never have considered otherwise. And this can also be more convenient. Budget carriers often service smaller regional airports versus the large main hubs. So if you're traveling somewhere that's smaller, this could help you get there more directly. So for instance, if you're traveling to Langkawi, Malaysia, one of the Greek islands, or any kind of small center, this could work out to be easier for you. However, there is some risk involved when you're traveling on two tickets. A ticket is like a contract between you and the airline. The airline is agreeing to get you from your originating city to your destination. However, when you have two tickets for one trip, you now have two contracts with two different airlines for two different origins traveling to two different destinations. So as you can see, things can get a little messy. So if something were to happen, like a flight was canceled or there was a delay that resulted in you missing your onward flight, or even a schedule change, that can really interfere and make things messy. We need to make sure that you have enough time to make that connection comfortably. So this is where insurance becomes really important because it will protect that connection. Just going back to the example we just looked at, if I were flying into Paris on Air Transat and that flight was really delayed and I missed my Czech flight onto Prague, Czech Airlines probably doesn't know that I'm coming in on an Air Transat flight because those two airlines are completely separate. So they would likely mark me as a no-show versus having just missed the flight or shown up late because they don't have all the information. So leaving enough time is really important. So I would recommend 3 to 5 hours minimum, depending on the airport. If the connection point is something like London Heathrow or Chicago O'Hare and you have a terminal change, you may want to leave more time because keep in mind, once you land, let's say Paris, as per the example we've been using, I have to collect my baggage, go through customs and immigration, and then go back up to the departures level and recheck in with Czech Airlines. So that's going to take quite a bit of time. And you may feel comfortable with less time, but if there's any sort of a delay, that can really throw a wrench into your plans. So you also want to leave a bit of a buffer in case there is any sort of delay. Thanks for joining this episode of the Travel Tutor. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions and if there's any topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes. And please be sure to click on subscribe. We're here to help you get the most out of booking your travel.